All right, let's talk about something crazy. Imagine turning, I don't know, $100 into $100,000, all because of a meme. A cartoon frog, maybe a viral TikTok sound. Well, that's not just a fantasy. That's the absolutely wild world of meme coins in 2026. And today, we are diving headfirst into what is shaping up to be a completely explosive year.
Okay, to kick things off, just look at this. 78%. That's the gain a single coin, called, get this, useless coin, so in just 4 days at the start of January. And no, this isn't some one-off fluke. It's a perfect snapshot of the kind of insane, high-volatility, high-reward game we're talking about. I mean, gains like this is what gets everyone talking.
And we're not talking about some tiny little niche corner of the internet anymore. Not at all. The total value, the entire market cap of all meme coins combined is now sitting at over $45 billion. Yeah, that's billion with a B. Something that literally started as a joke has ballooned into a serious economic force that's pulling in massive attention and, you guessed it, investment.
So, okay, the numbers are just staggering, right? But they don't really tell the whole story. It makes you wonder, how in the world did we even get here? What's actually causing this incredible surge? What's the real engine behind this rocket ship?
All right, section 1. What's fueling the hype? Let's try and understand the engine behind the meme coin rocket.
Okay, first things first, let's just make sure we're all on the same page here. What even is a meme coin? Well, it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's a cryptocurrency that gets its entire reason for being from an internet meme or a joke. So unlike, traditional stocks or something, their value has almost nothing to do with fundamentals. Nope, it's driven almost 100% by social media trends, by pure hype, and really by how strong and loud their online community is.
So what's the magic formula for 2026? What are the key drivers? Well, think of it like a perfect storm. First, you've got blockchains like Solana that are super fast and have incredibly low fees. This just makes it way more accessible for everyday people to trade. Then you've got these new platforms like pump.fun that let literally anyone create their own token in minutes. You don't even need to know how to code. And on top of all that, you just add a massive dose of classic retail investor FOMO, that's fear of missing out, plus some new trends like AI-themed memes and, well, just look at Google. Searches for meme coin are spiking like crazy. You mix all that together, boom, you get an explosion.
And you cannot talk about this without mentioning the influencer effect. It is a huge piece of the puzzle. I mean, in a market that's almost entirely driven by hype, these social media personalities are basically kingmakers. They're the ones building trust, they're the ones breaking down really complex ideas, and honestly, they can single-handedly start a trend that moves billions of dollars. They're the bridge that connects a really confusing crypto project to a curious investor who's ready to jump in.
So, with all that in mind, let's take a look at the top coins. Who are the real stars of the 2026 meme coin show?
Okay, so this table from early January really lays it all out for us. You can see the clear hierarchy here. Of course, you've got the OG, the original Titan, Dogecoin, still absolutely dominating with a market cap of over $21 billion. But then look at the others. You've got Shiba Inu, still a huge player. Pepe, the frog coin, is holding strong in third. And then you've got things like the official Trump coin, a politically themed token, sitting right there in the top 5, almost at a $1 billion valuation. It just goes to show you how wild, diverse, and completely trend-driven this whole space is.
But, this whole thing is a roller coaster. And with every single massive climb comes the very real risk of a very steep drop. So let's talk about the other side of the coin, the profits and the potential pitfalls. And this slide just perfectly illustrates that tension, the two faces of every meme coin. Let's take Bonk, for example. On one hand, the rally. It climbed an incredible 54% since the year began. Amazing, right? But, on the other hand, the risk. At the exact same time, a key technical indicator, it's called the Relative Strength Index, or RSI, was basically screaming a warning. It was way above 70, signaling that the coin was overbought. And that is a classic, textbook sign for traders that a lot of people might be about to take their profits, and the price could be headed for a sharp reversal.
So the reality is, these risks are not just, abstract theories. They are very, very real. These sharp rallies, they always attract people looking to cash out, which can crash the price in a heartbeat. You've also got to watch out for what are called whales. These are people or groups holding massive amounts of a coin. If they decide to sell or dump their bags, they can tank the entire market in an instant. And then there's the ugliest side of it all, Some of these projects are straight-up scams. They're called rug pulls, and they're designed for one thing only, to enrich the creators before they disappear with everyone's money.
So where does that leave us? Is this whole thing a boom or a bust? Let's get to our finale and talk about what to take away from the 2026 meme coin mania.
Really, it all comes down to this one core tension. The very same thing that makes these coins explode, that powerful viral community hype, is the exact same thing that can cause them to crash and burn. The thing that can generate life-changing wealth is also the thing that can lead to absolutely catastrophic losses. It is, without a doubt, a true high-stakes gamble. Fortunes are made and lost, sometimes in the blink of an eye.
And this quote from a market analysis pretty much says it all. Meme coins are highly speculative and prone to volatility. It goes on to say their value isn't driven by strong fundamentals, and that's the key, right? This isn't about looking at balance sheets or revenue projections. It's about feeling the pulse of social media. It's about sentiment, momentum, and pure virality. It's a totally different kind of asset, and because of that, it carries a totally different kind of risk.
And that leaves us with the big question, the one that's on everyone's mind. With all this money, all this attention pouring in, is 2026 the year that meme coins finally go mainstream? Do they become a legitimate, accepted part of the financial world? Or is this just another bubble, maybe the biggest one we've ever seen, just waiting to pop? Honestly, the answer to that is still being written. But one thing is for sure, it's going to be one heck of a ride.